Do you think Eddie Murphy should do another stand-up? And if he did, do you think it would be successful? And don't get used to cool.
Do you think Eddie Murphy should do another stand-up? And if he does, do you think it will be successful? You see, there's a book by Rick Rubin called The Art of Being. And Rick Rubin is one of the most prominent producers in the last 3 to 4 decades in the United States. And that book, I love that book so much because being a rock star, being an artist, being a creator should only mean how you feel about the work, the creative, the product, not how what somebody else. So this question, do you think Eddie Murphy would be back out? And if he does, do you think he'd be successful? Everybody said Lil Wayne dropped a trash album the last time. And it was Lil Wayne that did, I think it's Kata 1, 2, I think that's how it goes. I don't know what his albums are about. But I know that the man made this album, this album, this album, this album, this album, and then this one. You know, and all the other albums he made were commercially successful. And he made one that everybody has now agreed with, probably by bandwagon, that is trash. But one thing is constant all the way, is the man that created all those products. You know, and when he made the first product, he probably did not care about feedback from it. He just did what he thought was good, and maybe discussed with his peers at the time, you know, and they did the editing and then put it out. And thankfully, he was successful. Then he created again and put it out. He was successful. Created again, put it out. So create. What happens on this end? You don't have much power over it. You know, so paying attention to what. So I'm not even interested in what the answer is. What got my attention with this is the second statement he made about, do you think it will be successful? Who cares if somebody made a flute album? Who was that? I think it was Andre 3000. You know, and that was very rock star and gangster to me. You know, he was playing flute the past 5 years and decided to drop music and it was not flute. You know, so if you want to explore, to taste that art, then you can have a look at it and see if you feel something. If you don't feel anything, who says you must feel something all the time? The product is not about, even though the man who intends to make money from a product should pay attention to the customer at that point. But as a creative, the customer should not be your first priority. You know, the unfilteredness and when you got the idea, transmitting the idea to reality so that the idea looks just like the product, looks just like the idea. That is what your job is. It's as if God wants to bring something to life and it's doing it through you. So you want to be a very transparent conduit, if there's an expression like that. That is where your whole assignment is. It doesn't matter what, because you're by yourself, you're even a colored, your perception, your taste, all those things have been colored by sometimes mental programming from people who had ulterior motives. You know, so you don't even want you to be in the way of the idea whose time has come. Talk more of people. You know how people have different tastes in music. You know how people have different tastes in women. You know how people have different tastes in food. You want to pay attention to everybody's different tastes to now decide to make a product. That product look like nothing. You make the product and put it out. Who fucks with it? Fucks with it. You know, so now they put it more in a cage. And it probably Cameron is a voice in hip hop. So this video, you probably see it, and now it's under pressure. Let's assume he wants to create. He will not be under pressure. Will this thing work? Will it not work? And then will not now get an Eddie Murphy special. Because the acclaim is a concern. Will it be critical? Will it be successful? Will it be, you see? So the Rock, Chris Rock's brother, gave an opinion that was also something different. But I don't agree with success being a decider for a creative. It doesn't matter if the product is successful commercially. You know, a creator's job is to continue mirroring what the universe and God is giving him. You know, you're going to be paid back by some of them. And it's okay if some of them don't pay. It doesn't matter. What matters is that you are a trusted conduit for these ideas to go through. And it includes businesses too. You have a business idea, allow it to fail, let it come, bring it out. You know, launch it, let it fail. And guess what? Once you launch it, you can decide to not let it fail by editing with reviews. There is time for reviews. Review is done. It's not when you have the idea that you start listening to reviews. That thing will die. It will not come out. You know, what if now becomes a what if? Everything that was ever successful, an Adele album, what are all those hits that all the hits you know about in life, whether it's a piece of art, a poem, poetry, whether it's a product, whether all those things were once ideas, they were not existing anywhere before. Somebody thought about them and did themselves the favor of letting the idea go, letting people see a physical expression of what was once imagination. First, they refuse to let it fail by editing with reviews. So if you want it to succeed by force, then it's still possible. But it's when you're ideating, that's not when to listen to or to bother about what the commercial success or not will be, doesn't matter. People take rubbish and promote it, and then it does well. So there's still promotion, there's marketing. You know, so bother about that one later. But let's get going first. So whether it's successful or not does not matter from the creative standpoint or from the creative point of view. The moment you start worrying about those things, you're not very creative. You're now like the left-brained 9 to 5 guy whose right side of the brain has been beaten to death by fear, people's opinions, projection, programming, and all that. So I beg, you stay creative by expressing yourself continuously. Whether the thing succeeds or not is people's opinion. That's not, you don't have power over that. So we're making content. Some of my videos have 0 views. Literally 0 views. I don't even know how that is possible. Somebody will take me to that video with 0 views. I refuse to spoil it with 1 view. You know. But I am expressing my creative self by letting the thoughts I have come through words. And we have videos where people we are like, thank you very much for this. There was one video I made that somebody said, I wish you go viral. You know, and I don't know who this person is. They just like they made a prayer for me, you know, because what we're saying helps the person. The thoughts were expressed, you know. And it looks like so I'm giving myself the permission to let God talk to you through this means, through this medium. You know. So the more I do this, of course the reward will come from a couple of those products. You know, we're trying to get all the products paid. And nothing is coming from perfectionism and societal opinion and pressure and your sense organs that are really looking at other people. I am making assessments and thinking that if it's not 1 million views, it's not successful. That's not important. Make the product first. Do you know how I used to say people who are holding themselves back from content creation because of judgment? How will you feel if you see your grandfather's video? If there is a stockpile of your grandfather's video audio opinion on things, your grandfather, your great grandfather, you know, what he thought about this, about marriage, about relationship, about, you know, things. What would be, how would you feel to even hear his voice? Would you feel very happy to go down that and see? Sometimes we like to see pictures of, you know, and they say, this is your father, and you have it. You frame it, you keep it. Is it not more a blessing when it's video or audio? You know. So yes, create is like a diary thing, a diary entry. You know, when you're creating, create for yourself. If you want to take the step further, create for your family, for your children. My son pulls this video up, or my grandson pulls this video up. 60 years later or 100 years later, and he is battling with the fact that people are projecting on him and calling him a rebel. And then he hears somebody in his bloodline. He's saying, go ahead and express yourself. Allow the ideas you have come to life, whether or not society at the time can deal with it. Like I said, the first generation of streamers, where did that idea come from? They allowed themselves to do what they felt. And now there is something called streaming. You know, power slabs, the sport of power slabs that is now with the UFC. Somebody thought about that. And started selling to us. We'll buy anything. We don't even know what we like or we don't like. Yes. And besides, now there is a sport called power slabs. Even the UFC, someone that designed that route. Everything you see that is somebody designed it. The bag, the box you use, somebody thought about the seat and designed it. Now there's mass production that the 9 to 5 guys help enable. But the original idea came to life because somebody thought about something, and did us the favor of letting it come to life. The bed you sleep on, everything. The phone you're using, the iPhone you're using, Steve Jobs. So you want to, your own contribution is allowing the thing go. Let it go. Successful or not, let the market decide. And then they decide that the product is not good. Lil Wayne's album is trash. It's your opinion. He made all those albums. He made all those albums. So you like this one, you don't. And that's why I love Jay-Z so much. He said he allowed himself to grow with his music. And the truth is, he doesn't want to do any album again because he doesn't think that the sport will accommodate him, because what will he be saying on the album? Is it colonoscopy? What we're talking about? And the reactions when he said that thing was people were wishing that he would go ahead and do an album, because to them they will. But guess what? You're one person now. You will do a video and tell him, Andrew, please, I will talk with your music, I will listen to your music. If he's thinking like the Cameron question, you'll be like, you're just one person. He wants everybody to care before he now drops, so he will make you miss out on the Andrew. That's something you want from you. There's something his music did for you. And again, the audience he had are also grown up and they will care. See Jay-Z now. Jay-Z is rapping from when he was doing drugs to now that he's a billionaire, and he's telling you what he's doing now. And the thing is making sense still. The lyricism, the skill is still there, but the content is changing. He allowed himself to grow with his music. He's not doing trap. He's still doing the 90s rap style. And it's not doing bad because the people who were initially consuming it grew with him. It's unfortunate that what Leon was doing before and what he's doing now. I don't know what the album sounds like anyway. I've not listened to it. But I know he was doing Pussy Money Weed in the beginning. So when a man goes out of Pussy Money Weed and everybody's saying that the album is trash,